Brooklyn Independent Television.
The Greenpoint Gazette has been covering that neighborhood for 40 years. Meanwhile, it's been 30 years since the area had its own Chamber of Commerce. Now it's up and running again, and both institutions are headed by Jeff Mann, who's here to tell us what it's like to be both a community booster and the local press at the same time. Jeff, welcome.
Thanks, Randy. It's good to see you.
So let's talk a little bit about the community of Greenpoint to start off with. I mean, when I think of Greenpoint, I think about, the Polish community that existed there for many years. But how has Greenpoint changed, and what's the area you're covering these days?
First of all, Greenpoint, and I know many communities in Brooklyn claim this. I am a very big homer, as you know, for my community. Greenpoint is a small town in a big city, more than any other community I've ever been to. You can drive through and you just know everybody on the street, and everybody will know you, from your neighbors to your UPS drivers, etc. And it's just a very different mentality, where people would rather spend more money shopping locally than, for example, at the local toy store, than running to a chain like Toys R Us.
So how long have you been running the Greenpoint Gazette?
I bought the Gazette in June of 2007, so almost 6 years.
And tell me, what was the impetus behind you purchasing the newspaper, and what's the area you're generally covering?
We cover all of North Brooklyn, with obviously a very heavy focus on Greenpoint. So we do delve into Williamsburg. The borderlines, as anybody will tell you, are very. I kind of joke around like the occupied territories in the Middle East. People will dispute, where does Greenpoint end and Williamsburg begin? And then so many of our friends who unfortunately got priced out of Greenpoint or Williamsburg and moved into Bushwick, we continue to stay in touch with them and to cover them as well.
What was the motivation behind restarting or jump-starting the Chamber of Commerce there?
The story behind that is there have been, over the years, with fits and starts, attempts at launching a merchants association. And the one of the really unique things about North Brooklyn is its mom and pop economy. And I know that's something that other neighbors in Brooklyn, again, will tell me that their neighborhoods are more so, and I'll politely disagree. Greenpoint, Williamsburg have more mom and pop shops than probably anywhere else in the entire country. And what happens with the mom and pop shop, and I own one in our local newspaper, is it's virtually impossible to find the time to call your local elected officials and to do proper marketing and to work on different things that need to be addressed in the bigger picture of the community. So my feeling was that the community really needed some sort of a merchants association, somebody to be the voice of the combined merchants. A meeting with our local assemblyman, Joe Lenthal, he was aware of the Greenpoint Chamber of Commerce existing from 1930 to about 1980. He called the Department of State. He helped us get all the paperwork in order, and obviously recognized the importance also of a unified voice for the local merchants. And that was the motivation. The motivation was just to help our local businesses, whether it's one of our major members is Grandma Rose's Pizza, to help them with getting a voice with the Department of Health and the frustration over letter grades, which I'm sure you're aware, studies have come out that the outer boroughs are just getting killed, much more than Manhattan, on letter grades, sanitation, and other fines by city agencies.
What are the commercial corridors within Greenpoint?
You have Manhattan Avenue, which is a major shopping thoroughfare. It's been changing. The change has been unbelievable. I mean, when I bought the Gazette and the building that houses it in 2007, I think the only businesses on the block were us, Blue Jay Realty, and a couple of fortune tellers. Now you have the No Name Bar. You have a new bar that just opened up, and the chef from Momofuku coming in to do their menu. You have Three Kings Tattoos, and it's just on and on of new business. You have a 7,000 square foot wellness center and spa, Awakening NY, that opened up last year, that's doing phenomenal business over there. Then you have Franklin Street, which is also has a history of being a boutique area and has grown tremendously in the last 10 years. You have stores like Alter, Delaga, Kill Devil Hill. I mean, some of the really great restaurants like Anella, Callier, and bars and like I said, and clothing shops have really sprouted up there and are doing incredibly well. And one of the big boosts to them is also comes from one of our Greenpoint Chamber's new members, the East River Ferry, which has its landing at India Street and the water. And then, of course, the other major commercial area in Greenpoint is Nassau. And Nassau is basically, as you delve deeper and deeper, is, if you landed from Poland or another Eastern European country, you wouldn't know the difference.
Interesting. And what about the sort of old industrial sector? Is there still a presence in Greenpoint?
North Brooklyn has a tremendous small food manufacturing community. You have companies like Manhattan Special that make espresso flavored soda. They've been there for over 100 years. Of course, we have Brooklyn Brewery, which is one of the biggest success stories of the last 25 years in probably anywhere. And then you have small guys like A Little Duck Organics, which makes organic baby food. And what happens with a lot of these companies is, as they're growing, they need bigger manufacturing facilities, and we're losing these businesses to other neighborhoods. I mean, Brooklyn Brewery, as much as they do in Brooklyn, the reality is they outsource a lot of their, if not most of their manufacturing to Utica, New York.
So, Jeff, how many members do you currently have, and what's your plan for the future?
We had a goal when we launched at the beginning of November of bringing in 10 new members a month. We're now a little over 4 months old. We just signed on our 50th member, so we're a little bit ahead of schedule. And I just want to give a shout out to Gina Argento from Broadway Stages, who has been probably the best person that I've worked with so far on bringing in new members. That's the other thing. We have an amazing board. Our chairman is Elaine Brodsky, who is a founder of City Storage with her husband Norm Brodsky. We have Charlie Ryan from Brooklyn Bowl on our board. We have Eric Hall from Red Star. I mean, the board is just Martha Holstein from Strategic Urban Solutions. It's just a very formidable board. And what makes our board really special is nobody there is there because they have money that they can throw at a problem. Every single person has a long history of physically getting up and going out and making things happen in North Brooklyn.
Well, Jeff, you are certainly making things happen in North Brooklyn, and I'm happy that you're there and you're doing the work that you're doing, and I wish you much success.
Thanks, Randy. I appreciate it.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at bricartsmedia.org/BIT.